Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I'm Atira Minuddin and you're watching Palestinian Diaries podcast. Yet another episode, and today we are joined again with Puan Sri Norma Hashim. She is the author of the Prisoner's Diaries. We have heard some stories from her books from the previous podcast, and we also have another guest today for today's episode. He is Dr. Sharif Amin Abu Shamala, the CEO of Al-Quds Foundation Malaysia. He was originally from Gaza, Palestine. He was born there, and before I go on any further, Dr. Sharif, could you tell us a little bit about yourself before we go on to this episode?
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Sister Atira, and thank you for Sinar Daily for having us today to speak about this important topic. About myself, my name is Sharif, as you mentioned. I am a son of refugee parents who forced to leave Beit Daras. Beit Daras is a village in Palestine. So they left Beit Daras, or forced, to be more accurate, they were forced to leave Beit Daras to Gaza Strip. So I was born in Gaza Strip. Then I finished my degree and master in Gaza. I came to Malaysia in 2013 to complete my PhD in the history of Baitul Maqdis. And since January 2015, I am the CEO of Yayasan Al-Quds Malaysia, based in Kuala Lumpur. And this is an organization focused on the issue of Baitul Maqdis. And we have a message we want to deliver to everyone in the region, and Malaysia in specific, that they have right in Baitul Maqdis. We want them to know this right.
All right, thank you so much for taking time, and also Puan Sri, I'm sure you've been doing great as well. And on today's episode specifically, today is April 17, and it is actually a significant day over there in Palestine. It is actually Palestinian Prisoners' Day. It was established by the Palestinian National Council in 1974 as a national tribute to honor the thousands of Palestinian prisoners held in Israel occupation prisons and to support their legitimate right to freedom. It's just the same thing that we have been talking about, the same topic, the same fight that we've been discussing from the previous episodes. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it. I'm just going to let our honorable guest to tell you more about the Palestinian Prisoners' Day. And maybe we could start with Puan Sri. If you could share with us the significance of this Prisoners' Day and how is it marked annually?
Palestinian Prisoners' Day is commemorates the struggle of the Palestinians for freedom and equality, and remembers the prisoners who have sacrificed a lot to fight for the freedom of their land. Yes, so we do this every year, and it's done worldwide through many events in many cities around the world.
I see. Yeah. And how about you, Dr. Sharif? Anything you want to add on, as you are a Palestinian yourself?
I think it is very important to commemorate such events, especially for those sometimes people forget them because they are behind the bars. So I think such events and such days are very important to remind people about their cause, their suffering, their struggle for freedom. They are a great people. They sacrifice their lives, they sacrifice their ages just to deliver the message that we will not give up, and we should continue fighting for the freedom and for the just of the Palestinian cause. So as Puan Sri said, it is very important, and from my experience, because I came from Gaza, every 17th of April there is a very big demonstration and many events, not just in 17 of April, no, the whole month. And this is a good opportunity to remind ourselves and remind people about those who are behind the bars.
And when you say they do demonstration, I'm pretty sure it's like a big significant event that they do every single year. How are the response from the Israeli armies, maybe?
Okay, always Israel attacking the Palestinian people. It is not necessary to be in demonstration or anything. They even if you are in your house, you will find the Israeli attack on your head. So always when the Palestinians go to demonstrations and to go to streets to commemorate such events and or to protest against the Israeli brutal actions and attacks, Israel usually attack them. And just for example, we remember the funeral of late Shireen Abu Aqla, the Christian journalist in Palestine. Yes, she was shot and murdered by the Israeli occupationist snipers, and they attacked her funeral without any shame.
The funeral was attacked by soldiers.
Even her funeral?
Yes, funeral, yes.
Yeah.
As if they have not murdered her, they attack on her funeral.
They tried to stop the funeral.
So they killed her, then they attacked her funeral in Jerusalem, and this is the Israel and this is the occupation. We are always face such measures by them. So, but it is an open struggle, and we should take this struggle and go on.
It's just endless cruelty from those horrible, horrible people. And once you said this was not also being stand in Palestine, but it's also from around the globe. Can you share with us what maybe perhaps you can share?
Because many Palestinian NGOs around the world. For instance, I know like today in Berlin, Samidun, which is an NGO based in New York, I think, but they're also doing like a demonstration in New York, in Berlin, and they also have, I think, one in Ireland as well. Definitely there'll be one, I think, in London to commemorate this.
Do we do anything local here in Malaysia?
Yeah, that's why it's not really well known. Palestinian Prison Days is not really spoken about here, which is a good chance for us now to speak about this and to highlight this.
And perhaps from today's episode, maybe moving forward, we could do something about it every single year, right?
Yes.
And also, we want to know the latest numbers for the Palestinians who are being held by the Israeli occupation. Is there any latest updates as of?
I saw in Ad-Damir, I think the latest one is that they have 4,900 Palestinians in Israeli jails now, which includes 160 children, 1,000 administrative detainees, which are Palestinians detained without any charge, just held in prison indefinitely. So yeah, the numbers have risen, I think, in the last month. I think due to Ramadan, there's
400.
more arrests. 400, right?
400 in one night, in one raid in Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa.
Oh yes, I saw these on the news. They were performing their prayers,
they arrested 400 of youth. Maybe some of them have been released, but most
likely
that's why the numbers have come up this month.
So no any accurate statistics, because every day there is there is a new numbers.
Dr. Shari, do you have any contacts still in Palestine?
Yes.
Okay, so can you share with us a little bit, maybe on the latest arrests that was adding on to the recent statistic?
Okay.
What was the situation like?
The situation, every day there is an Israeli raid against the Palestinian people, especially in the West Bank, especially in Mukhayyam Jenin camp for refugees. Israel every night come and arrest many of youth, and not only youth, also men and women. And to add to what Puan Seri Norma said, in the Israeli jails now around 36 female prisoners, right? Yes, 36 female prisoners, and a lot of the sick prisoners, around 600, and some reports speak about 800, and some of them chronic diseases, around 200. And actually since 1967 till now, there are around 300 of the Palestinian prisoners who passed away in the Israeli jails, because Israel applied the policy of medical negligence. So the number is rising every time. The life is very difficult under the Israeli occupation. And we see some in these years, when the people start to record by their mobiles how the Israeli, when they storm the house and get the father from his children, and how they start crying, how they start to try to release their father from the hands of the Israeli soldiers. So the situation, especially in the West Bank, is very difficult. Why not in Gaza? Because Gaza, we don't have the Israeli occupation, but the Israeli occupation control the sky of Gaza, and they shell the Gazan people. So the one who cannot arrest him, they send a rocket against him and they kill him, unfortunately. So this is the occupation.
Actually, when you speak about Palestinian Prisoners Day, it's not just the 4,900 prisoners in Israeli jails, but you talk about also the 2 million people in Gaza, and those are also prisoners.
Yes, open prison.
Open air prison. They can't leave. Nobody can come in. And there's also Palestinians in diaspora, like the Holy Land 5, in America. The Palestinians who were fundraising through the NGO called the Holy Land Foundation, and those were arrested in collaboration with the Israeli secret evidence. And there are 3 men now who are very elderly, 60 years old and above, who are in high security prison in the US for a very long term. And all because they were raising funds, zakat funds, to send to orphans in Gaza.
Yes.
However, they managed to turn it around to say that if you send funds to Gaza, means you are funding terrorism. But actually, it was funding school children and orphans. And in fact, one of my friends was one of them, the people who benefited as well.
Yes. I can't believe that is like the reality of how it actually is.
It's really sad,
Sister Atira, since 1967 till now, around 1 million of the Palestinians experienced the Israeli jails. Means Israel jailed 1 million of the Palestinians since 1967. So this is a very big number. I know some countries less than 300,000.
Yeah.
Some countries less than 300,000
is a lot, let alone 1 million.
Yes, they arrested 1 million of the Palestinians. So I believe every family in Palestine has experienced how the Israeli jail is and how the Israeli jailers deal with those the Palestinians who just want their country to be free and their life to be better.
But I'm also wondering, now that it's 2023, all this aggressive action that is taken by the Israeli are all recorded, even like the one they arrested those people who were doing their prayers in the mosque. Has it impacted anything to make things better, the fact that they were exposed for the whole world to see?
Yes, actually, I see now that when they had the poll recently in America, you did find that among the younger people, Americans, they were not, many more support Palestine than Israel. Okay. So the tide is turning in terms of opinions and because people see all this, on social media.
Because we all know, like the media in general, the Western.
So it's the tide is turning, but it's slow. But we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I hope so.
I hope so. I hope that's like a step forward in a way, right? And now that it's even in America, we can see the changes. How can we actually support this cause, even to maybe take a stand on Palestinian Prisoners Day? What more can we do?
Yes, I think and I believe there are a lot of things we can do, at least as activists and NGOs. The most important thing to keep the issue of those prisoners alive and on air. And so I appreciate your work in Sinar Daily, and also appreciate the efforts of Puansiri Norma Hashim for her books, for her taking this issue on air and everywhere. So I think the most important thing to keep the issue alive and to educate people about the conditions and the suffering of those under the Israeli jails, and also to make solidarity events, conferences, seminars, press conferences, a lot of things. And also the social media, we should do a lot in social media to deliver the message of those behind the bars, because sometimes they send to us those in the jails, please don't forget us, because sometimes they feel they are forgotten. Yes, so it is very important to keep
keep the conversation going.
Conversation going about them, and to make it high level in the level of international NGOs, international platforms, human rights NGOs and bodies. They should take this. Even sometimes it seems difficult, but we should not give up, and we should always continue struggle for this noble issue.
Actually, I think that people don't realize that imprisonment of Palestinians actually is the biggest instrument of oppression used by the Israelis.
Yes.
You know, it's not like other things, but putting people in prison is the main thing they do to fight the opposition, to fight the resistance, to keep the resistance down. For children, it's used to like terrify the children. You know, the thought that they are arrested makes them worried. So they stop, maybe they want to stop talking about the issue. So we need to highlight that this is the way the Israelis used. And the major way is actually putting people in prison. Yeah.
And now that, luckily this on April 17, it is happening during Ramadan, we're also wondering, how do prisoners and their families celebrate these holy occasions? Such as Ramadan, and we have Eid Mubarak just by the end of the week. Could you share with us maybe, Doctor?
Yes, actually I just want to share with you one of the scenes that I received last year of Nasser Abu Hamid, the mother of Nasser Ahmed. Nasser Ahmed is a Palestinian prisoner. He is one of her 5 sons who are used to be in the Israeli jails, and they still. But Nasser, he passed away in last December 2022 in the jail, in the Israeli jails. So the picture came from the house of Nasser. Nasser sitting on the table to take a breakfast, but without any one of her sons, the 5 of her sons. And she put the photos of her sons on the chairs before breakfast. So
That's
can
so
you
sad.
take this one?
So basically that's the mother and her 3
Okay.
sons?
Yes. No, 4 sons.
4 sons.
Yes, and the fifth,
And they were
the fifth
taken
is
away.
Shahid. Yes, and the one more, Nasser, he passed away in the Israeli jail because the medical neglect in the last December 2022. So this is Nasser, and she
And
put.
I believe the body has not even been returned.
Yes, yes.
You know, the Israelis even hold the dead body and not return
Yes.
it to his mother.
Yes.
Could it be like
They
just
jail the
dispose
bodies
it?
also.
They jail the bodies. You know, prison is lifelong and after death.
Even after death,
Yes.
they're not going to
Crazy, right?
return
Yes,
the,
can you
the
imagine?
They don't
body.
return the body to the family
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't
for
even
the
know
funeral
that.
or the service.
Yeah.
So they just prolong the torture even for
Yes,
the family
yes.
even
Yes.
after passed
Collective
away.
punishment. They don't punish the fighter or the
Yes.
Palestinian prisoner
whole
alone.
family.
They punish the whole family, the whole relatives,
yeah.
and the community. Yes, because when they raid the camps to get someone, they torture others, they beaten others.
The
this
trauma,
is-
I can't
yes.
imagine the
Yeah.
trauma that
Yes.
the family has to suffer, and a mother who gave birth to
5 boys.
Five boys.
Yeah.
5 boys are in the. One was Shahid, they shot, and the 4 are in the Israeli jails. Yes,
Yeah.
this is the Israel.
How long has this been going on for the family?
Around the 20 years.
Oh, no.
20 years she couldn't to meet her son.
So
Yes.
there was very poignant photo of her breaking fast
Yes.
without her children, but her children's photos instead.
Yes.
That is so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
How is that not on all over social media? I feel like that
Yes.
should be shared more so
Yes.
that people can get the
Yes.
idea of the reality of people there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, can they even visit family during Ramadan? Can they get family
They have
visit?
family visits, yes.
They allow,
Yeah.
but in very limited number, very limited time, and with sometimes with humiliating the families,
I see.
because sometimes they use strip search for the families who want to visit their sons. And when we speak about visit, it is not visit, it is just a call, telephone call behind the glass the prisoner in the one side and the family in other side. So the family cannot touch the hand of their son in the prison. And even not all the sons are allowed to visit their fathers, only just a few numbers. And for your information, the prisoners from Gaza since 2007 are not allowed, the families, to visit their kids in the Israeli prisons, because there are around 200 of the Gazan who are in the Israeli prisons. They are banned from, their families are banned from visiting their sons in the Israeli prison. So they call it visit, but it is not visit. It is just a new occasion for crying and for to get hard and butter.
Yes. I'm sure the same thing applies during Eid Mubarak as well, right? For the prisoners.
Yes, no any exemption in Eid Mubarak. They said we open for
the
visit.
Same thing.
Yes.
And how is the Ramadan celebration and the Eid Mubarak celebration in general there in Palestine?
In Palestine?
Yeah.
The people love to celebrate Eid, but sometimes Israel does not allow them, especially during the...
Do they get extra aggressive?
Yes.
Because it's a happy occasion.
You remember in 2021, there was no Eid in Gaza because Israel was attacking the Gaza at that time. So no one celebrated the Eid. And in 2014, also Israel attacked Gaza and no one celebrated the Eid.
They were bombing Gaza during Ramadan.
During Ramadan and
I feel like it happens every year during Ramadan.
Yes. Even ceasefire, they refused to cease fire during the Eid. And they want to attack and to kill more and more of the Palestinian people. But from my experience and from what I'm receiving from my family in Gaza, they try to live in full capacity. They want to do all things. They do the traditional sweets for Eid. We called it kaik and ma'moul. They try to challenge the occupier by living in Palestine, because we have a like sentence or proverb says, existence is resistance. We consider existence in our land and to practice our life is kind of resistance, the Israeli occupation. So they live all the day and challenging the occupation at the same time.
Has any of your maybe contacts from Palestine has maybe share any stories with you about their experience for this year's Ramadan and maybe the upcoming Mubarak?
Yes, for Ramadan we do, because my NGO Viva Palestina Malaysia, there are many projects. The children are always asking for new clothes.
Yes.
Eid clothing is a big thing there because the children all want new clothes.
They wait from year to year.
Yes. And then we also not just provide clothes, but every day there's iftar. We also organize iftar as well as food packs so that everyone has a chance to celebrate and enjoy a bit in Ramadan.
How is the delivery from here to Palestine?
Oh no, we can actually buy almost everything over there in terms of food stuff.
Yeah. So the preparations, there are no challenges.
Yeah, it's just funding sent over.
Okay.
And then from there they can buy the clothes and the food over there.
No resistance from the Israeli
Israeli don't mind food and clothes coming in because they pay tax, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it comes through Israel. They make money from it.
I see. Okay.
And then Israel, they have formula. They give the Palestinian people in Gaza food by calories. They calculate the calories, how many liters of oil you receive. Then they allow if you are under the limits. So this is a crazy occupation, but the people want to live and they want to struggle.
Israel doesn't allow too much.
Yes.
Too much.
They have a limit per person of how much you can eat, which is ridiculous, right? How can you control that?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how they decide on the import of things.
I see. So I remember the previous podcast, you mentioned that they elected a new government, but it was like super not and even the people there aren't happy with the current government, right?
So, which one is that? No, not really. No, I mean the PA is not popular.
Yes. Is there going to be any challenges in maybe celebrating Eid Mubarak?
You mean the Israeli government or
Yes,
Palestinian
the
government?
Israeli
Oh,
government.
Israeli
The Israeli
Yeah,
government,
yes, right,
yes,
yes,
very
yes.
extreme.
Yes.
There was a lot of
The new
demonstration
one.
in Israel
Yes.
about the
Netanyahu's
Netanyahu's government and
Yeah.
the proposal they have to limit the power of the judiciary. So that's why a lot of protests were happening in Israel itself. But it's not that they're concerned about the Palestinians at all.
Yes, yes.
The Israelis were protesting because they're concerned about their own freedom,
Yes.
not about the freedom of the Palestinians. So.
Because the same
Yes.
government,
Yeah.
they put a lot of measures against the Palestinian people. No one protests in Israel.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
it comes to their life, they will protest by hundreds of thousands. But when Israel puts restrictions and measures against the Palestinian people, even killing the prisoners. Now the new minister of security, Ben Gvir, he is an extremist one.
Yeah.
He said he issued an order for the soldiers to kill the prisoners.
Yes.
Means when some Palestinian people go and have fight with the Israeli, they should be sometimes they captured as prisoner. No, he said you can kill them immediately. And this is against the international law, against the human rights. So the Israeli is okay with this. But when it comes to their life, they protest.
Yeah.
But given that the people are more, the government is more extreme, would there be more restriction on celebrating Eid Mubarak for the Palestinians? Maybe to do a family visit from a house, from houses to another house, maybe.
I think not. I think in terms of restricting celebrations of Eid, no, but it's daily life of the Palestinian is already, very oppressive. So, but
I have another point of view. No, they put restrictions because the people from Gaza cannot celebrate the Eid
yes.
with their relatives in the West Bank. Do you know? I am from Gaza and some relatives from West Bank, I cannot visit them. Even the Christians. Now, the Christians is celebrating Easter and the Holy Sunday.
Yeah.
They prevented the Christians from Gaza to travel to Jerusalem to celebrate Easter. And also they attacked the Christians in Jerusalem.
So it's not just against
Not-
Muslims
yes,
then?
yes, not against the Muslims. They are against also the Christians, and they don't need anyone to celebrate any fest, despite is a Muslim or non-Muslim. So Israel used to put restrictions, but sometimes the Palestinian people feel when Israel allow for some people to visit Beit al-Maqdis, they allow for elderly, more than 70 years people. It is great, but this is our right. Everyone in Palestine has the right to go to free access to the holy places and to worship Allah, to pray, but they restrict. For me, I didn't visit the Masjid al-Aqsa just one time in my life.
people from Gaza
Yes,
cannot go.
yes.
Yeah, they can't cross the border. They
Yes.
can't go to
It is just
Al-Aqsa.
Yes,
It's empty. It's just
yes.
no one's
Just
there.
for like the distance between my home to Al Masjid Al Aqsa as the distance from KLCC to KLIA.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So even that
just
far.
60 kilometers.
Yes.
But I didn't.
So they aren't
visit.
even open.
They
for
prevent
maybe
us.
the
Uh,
prayer.
And do you
people
know-
in Jerusalem can go to Al-Aqsa in
Yes.
the West Bank, sometimes with permission for the
Yes.
checkpoints, but people from Gaza cannot come into Jerusalem at all.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or West Bank.
or West
Yes.
Bank, yeah.
And the one who managed to go to West Bank should be with a very serious disease to get the permission. And if we want to speak about those who go to the West Bank and how they are suffering, it is a long story. So I hope next time.
It's a long
yes,
story.
yes. I
Is
will
there
share.
anything you wanna add
We
on?
will share with about
Yes.
some of these stories.
Yeah, well, no, basically that's what I meant when I said prisoners in Palestine. It's
Yes.
not just in prison, but also the people of Gaza
Yes.
are prisoners as
Very
well.
accurate, yes,
Yes.
very accurate. Even the Palestinians in diaspora and abroad, the refugees, they cannot visit their relatives in Palestine or to visit Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. So Israel implement the jailing on everything in Palestine, even the books, even the antiques, even the collection. Everything is under the Israeli jail.
And maybe could you share with us where people can find this Palestinian Prisoners Day online? Can people see how they are doing the demonstration there?
Oh, yes, yes. If you Google Palestinian Prisoners Day, then you can find all the events that are happening around the world. Yes, mostly there's like webinars or people speaking, which is good to listen to.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Many articles.
Yes, and also I want to share, do you know in Gaza, every week, every Thursday, there is a sit-in in the front of the Red Cross headquarters in Gaza. The people, the families, the mothers of prisoners, they go every Thursday. They don't give up. Every Thursday, they go there and they protest and send letters to the international community to free their sons, to free their beloved ones, to enhance the conditions of the prison, to give them a treatment, a medical treatment, but and they don't give up because they are their sons.
They're fighting for them.
Yes, yes. So every week and every day there is a demonstration and an event for those prisoners. So it is a noble cause and noble struggle.
Yeah. And just before we end today's episode of Palestinian podcast, because time just went by really quick, Puan Sri, do you have any last wish for upcoming Eid Mubarak, and also a message to maybe Malaysians who aren't aware about Palestinian Prisoners Day?
Well, there are many prisoners. I would like to just mention Khadi Adnan, 71 days on hunger strike, very close to death. And this is Ramadan, but he's on hunger strike for last 2 months.
71 days, sorry?
Yes, protesting against administrative detention. I think this is the 10th time he's been arrested without charge. It's the 10th time he's gone on hunger strike and been released. But this time, for 71 days, they have not released him. And I feel that it's because Israel wants to makes him very ill before they will release him, right?
Yes.
To make sure that, he's not active anymore in the resistance.
They want to destroy his body.
His major organs,
Yes.
his kidneys are failing, his eyesight is failing. Walid Daqqa as well.
Walid Daqqa, yes.
Also another prisoner who's been in there, I think 37 years. Also having cancer. And
37
also,
years?
Yes,
Yes,
also
in the prison.
dying.
How old is
He must be about 50 years old.
Yes.
his whole life is in there?
Yes.
Yes, since he was about 20 or something, yes. Very, very long. And he's also very, very ill, and he's still not been released from prison. So on Prisoners' Day, these are the people that we also have to remember. Yes.
And also, any last wish for Eid Mubarak?
Oh, yeah. I wish all the listeners Eid Mubarak. And we hope that we'll all take part in the struggle for the freedom of Palestine.
All right. And Dr. Shari, do you have any last thoughts?
Yes, I would like to send tahniya to everyone here in Malaysia and in this world, in the Eid Mubarak and Easter for our brothers and Christians. And also I would like to send a special salam and greeting to Ahmed Manasra. That one, I hope everyone to Google about him. Ahmed Manasra was arrested by the Israeli occupation while he was 13 years old, and now he is 20 years old. And yes, and Israel refused to release him. So I say to him, Eid Mubarak Ahmed, inshallah ta'ala, السنة الجاية في بيتك ومع أهلك. Eid Mubarak Ahmed. Next year, inshallah ta'ala, you celebrate, or next Eid, you celebrate Eid with your family and your beloved ones, inshallah ta'ala.
Thank you so much, Puan Sri, and thank you so much, Doctor, for taking time to speak. I hope maybe we can share more stories, maybe in the upcoming episodes. And like I mentioned earlier, today, April 17, is the Palestinian Prisoners Day, where we take a stand to honor the thousands of Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli occupation prisons and to support their legitimate right to freedom. And you have heard the stories, horrible, traumatic stories, and I hope everyone will still fight for the freedom, speak about it, post on social media, share with your family and friends, maybe use a hashtag Free Palestine. And if you missed out on this episode, or you're interested to know the stories from the previous ones, Make sure to go on our YouTube channel, Sinar Daily, where you can find the previous episode and other exclusive interviews. And follow our TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to get the latest updates on stories in Palestine and also any other news from Malaysia and worldwide. And lastly, I would like to wish everyone to have a wonderful and safe Eid Mubarak. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Atira Minuddin. Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
All right. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sister Akil.